Then you see the flyer.
Bullet hole over there.
Oh wow.
Gonna go? No? What was the receipt number on the?
Oh.
And then I'll put the refund with it.
Oh, okay.
17.
What do we got here too? Rocket tokens.
A dumb waiter.
Nice.
I left that part out.
That dude's very creepy.
I'll take the dog.
The time I took you to
Look at the upstairs. And...
Sign this for me, please.
At 5.
My waiver?
Yeah,
You had to sign as soon as I paid for it. I was the first one.
Oh, okay, you were the first 3. Okay, so you already have, okay, so then the rest of you.
yours.
So these tickets right here then.
Yes.
Alright, so I need y'all to read and sign that.
Sorry, thank you.
I was like, I knew there was more people than I had names on there, so.
So when you fold it, always, yeah, when I put mine there, so when you fold it, always like you do it out here. Put these together. Better correct and early.
That's right after the turn. We'll walk the street. There's a notice.
Don't have to worry about that? Okay. Good for you.
Right? Poor kids. That's like.
Hey, why don't you make a phone call? That's a phone on the wall next to us. That's a phone. You know that? I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, right.
And I will say a nice word or two.
We don't want any other room. This is exact opposite, the exact cash. I saved it for just this occasion.
I've had them for a couple of years.
I'll make sure to get a drink on her.
Yeah.
No.
There's 2 of them I can't wear anymore.
We're about to go to a very, very scary ghost tour. Hope you are all prepared for this.
What happens all day in the sun and running around.
We're here at the Birdcage Theater. We're about to go on a ghost tour. It's almost little bit after 6 o'clock.
Rules for the pyrite
Pardon
around
me.
here. I was telling them, I was like, well, I don't have to for it. I only have to where we were, because the pyrite is all over the place there, especially outside our tanks. Brings it out. Yeah. I'll scrape off a bottle for somebody or something.
Yeah, that's what you should do. So.
Yeah. The rodeo.
So we can switch to one of these things.
Different things that are like one over analyze.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, that's one. And then there's another one. It's 16 hard. That's it. I think that's.
It was mainly,
It's a baby coyote.
Oh, my apologies. I thought you were one of my people. I'm sorry.
Not sure what animal that is. It doesn't have a name. It's got to be.
Old key.
And we got
This one. I'll unlock your heart. I gotta be very gentle. Hold up. Okay, I'm not touching anyone. No more
Guys,
touching.
are you signed in already?
Yes, ma'am.
Lighter? Hold up. Is this a lighter case? Oh, this is a lighter sleeve. Doo. Lighter sleeve.
Come on over here.
Which one? Wait, what?
We do sign the waiver.
Oh, hey,
Check it
Chastity
out.
Belt. Chastity Belt.
That's funny. Oh my goodness.
Chastity Belt.
This is the ones with the spikes,
What? Wow. Keep them further away.
right? No, there's spikes around it. Don't scare anybody.
For real.
These are a lot of people.
Maybe, kind of? No. That was the sound of Ollie
Oh, no, you're
getting
fine.
locked in here with me. How's everyone doing? Good. Fine. Good. Great. Anyone been on one of my ghost tours before? No. No? You mean I have all new victims in
No,
here?
ma'am.
Have you done mine?
No.
I have all new victims in here. I mean, guests. Alright, my name is Karen. I'm going to be your host for tonight. I do have a couple little rules to go over before we get started. I want everyone to have fun. So feel free to take photos, take videos, ask questions. You make sure you get that email address that is on that white sign right there on the back side of the bar. That way, as you're going through your photographs later, if you see someone or something in them that you didn't see when you took the photo, make sure you send them in to us. We do like to see them. Second, look around. We have quite a few people in here. So y'all please be respectful to your fellow tour members. I will police this if I have to, which means that I can and I will turn into that Karen. I don't too, because someone usually gets mad and they get mad at me. And y'all, I really don't like people to be mad at me because I like to have fun. Now, speaking of that, we've seen the ghost shows, right? Ghost hunters, ghost adventures. And when they're not getting any activity, they try to antagonize or upset the spirits, trying to get something to happen. Yeah, we ain't going to do that in here.
No.
Really? See, all of y'all are going to leave and go home in just a little while, and guess who's going to be left in this building by herself? Yes, me.
That's why I don't do that.
You know, in all reality, the 1800s was a rough life, so we do believe the spirits who are still here, they obviously died very tragically and at very young ages. Lifespan back then was very short. But we also like to think that they had a lot of fun here, or they're attached to one of the many antiquities that we have. Well, we respect them, they respect us. Now, can I promise or guarantee that you're going to have your own paranormal experience tonight? I cannot. I really hope that you do. I always like to remind everyone they do not punch the time clock like I do. So, any questions over my tiny rules? No. Great. All right, I'm going to give you a little history of Tombstone before it became Tombstone. A little dot on a survey map they called Goose Flats. Maybe had about 150, 200 people in this area. So this gentleman right up here in this photograph out of town, Ed Shefflin. Now, Mr. Shefflin came from Oregon. He's always out prospecting in his spare time. Well, I kind of think Mom and Daddy finally said, hey, Ed, maybe you need to get out and get yourself that job. Come back and visit us when you can. Well, he did just that. He came out here to Arizona and went to work for Camp Huachuca at the time as an Indian scout. In his spare time, he's out prospecting. He's looking for that silver and gold. They do follow each other in the mines. Well, the soldiers are out there telling him, hey, Ed, only rock out there you're going to find is your tombstone. Oh, and y'all are going to be a tough crowd tonight, aren't you? True story, folks, hence the name Tombstone, because not only did he find the one rock, he found three. It totaled $85 million. 1800s money. So times all the numbers I give you tonight by 30, and that's what you'll get in today's money.
Good Lord of mine.
Seriously though, aren't we so glad he found those rocks? Because can you imagine watching that movie called Goose Flats? Okay, now those silver mines are really booming. This population has increased to well over 18,000 people. We don't know exactly how many people were here. They didn't count that huge lady population that we had, or the huge Asian population. So a little bit of perspective for you, this population was larger than the city of Los Angeles. Late 1800s are when those silver mines closed. Now everybody's leaving. Some chasing gold over in California, others chasing copper over in Bisbee. Now we're back down to 150 people or so. So all the businesses, including this one right here, had to close. Now as people were leaving, they expected to return. They expected those silver mines to reopen, so they did leave a lot of their items behind. In particular, behind in this building, because it had already survived two fires, one in 1881 and one in 1882. So they knew when they returned, at least their items would be protected from any future fires. The only problem is they didn't return. Those silver mines never did reopen. So when this building closed in 1889, it stayed closed for 45 years. It reopened in 1934 as a National Historic Landmark and Museum. That's when that partition wall right there was added to create that museum in the back. These original carbide gas chandeliers were converted to electricity. So as we walk through the building tonight, keep in mind it has been kept in its original condition as possible. The floors, the ceilings, the walls, drapery. These are the very same floors that Doc Holliday and Johnny Ringo, the Earp brothers. Anybody who was anyone walked across these floors in the 1800s. Allen Street right here happened to be 16 blocks long at the time, and there were 106 saloons on this street. We were the elite out of all of those establishments. We did have just a little bit of something for everyone. It was a gambling hall, a saloon, a theater, and a brothel all in one. And at times a guy could get a haircut and a shave here. Well, there's your Walmart in the 1800s. Now, those girls who get up here on this catwalk, they catch the eye of a gentleman down in the casino floor here in the barroom area and off the streets. They're trying to entice him up this narrow staircase. There's 14 birdcage cribs, 7 located on each side of the building. They are similar to small opera boxes, and those are the rooms the ladies worked in. Would only cost that gentleman $25 to go join her. Plus, you see there's a dumbwaiter over there at the end of the bar. So anything those ladies wanted, gentleman needed to have that silver to supply it, or else he was tossed out of here until he could make some more. Yeah, we were only open for 8.5 years, but those were some very busy ladies. When you get a chance, feel free to lean over the glass case right here. Now take a look at those top 3 stairs. You can see just how busy those ladies were. Some of those steps have been worn down to the thinness of a poker chip, giving testimony to the amount of boots and spurs going up and down the narrow staircase.
Damn.
What's up? The top ones? That's the first place the kids always look. This bar right here is original. She has been here since December of 1881. Made in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, hand-carved cherry wood. Now, it did take her 6 months to get here. The railroad did not want to insure the very expensive diamond dust mirror, so the owners put her on that little boat they called the Star of India, sailed her around the Horn of South America to line with Mexico, and then wagon trained her in. She arrived December 26, 1881. Now, this was 6 months after the Birdcage had opened her doors. Now, when she arrived, the owners had intended for her to go underneath the catwalk right here to give that illusion of the ladies dancing on top of the bar. Yeah, minor little issue with that.
Right.
Yeah, someone did not drink twice and got once. They put her against the wall, nailed these doors shut, and this is where she sat for just a little over 138 years. Only bar in Tombstone who can claim she's the original bar in the original position. Now, 16 gunfights have happened in here, 26 people have lost their lives, and there's around 140 bullet holes located throughout this entire building. Right down here behind you, sir, in that bar post, 45 caliber slug, and it is still embedded in there today. Oh. Now, from that post, look straight up in the ceiling, between the light and the ceiling fan, that's a 32 caliber. Who aimed up there? Corner of the gold frame, just to the right of that camera, is a 45 ricochet. Whew. Gentlemen, back wall, I don't want to blind you. 44 slug is still embedded in the green wall today. And now let me introduce you to the lovely Fatima. She did bring the art of belly dancing over to the United States from the Orient, performed on this stage in 1881, went on to fame and fortune, changed her name to Little Egypt, sent that portrait out in 1882 as a thank you for jump-starting that illustrious career of hers. If you notice, she does have 6 toes. And it appears that she has a double belly button. Y'all, we only get one belly button. It's one of 6 bullet holes located throughout her canvas, and she has a knife slash in her skirt right there about her kneecap. That knife slash came from a gentleman who was highly intoxicated here at the bar, probably high on opium also, really popular back in the 1800s. Well, he said he saw her reflection in the mirror right here, and, well, she was coming out of the portrait to get him.
Oh, damn.
The 2 show bills have hung in the corner since the 1800s. Now, they are a precursor to a modern-day movie marquee. Each performance that they had, they would just place one poster on top of the other for advertising. These gals happen to be the last performing act here. Lady gymnasts, known as the human fly, they would get on their trapeze, do their flips and twists. When they dismounted onto the ceiling and would walk around upside down like a fly.
Wow.
Their secret, they had magnets in their shoes and metal plates in the ceiling.
Genius.
Walking around. That's awesome.
Any of you folks in here staying at this hotel directly across the street?
Nope.
No?
Not
A
yet.
lot of folks who stay over there will come out on that balcony late at night. This is after we've gone home for the evening. A lot of times we call the marshal out here because they do believe someone's broke in. They see movement up on the catwalk. They see movement here in the foyer area. Of course, when the marshal comes out, our alarm is still set. And when I leave out of here, I put a very thick padlock on the outside of the door. And it is still there. Beginning of last year, a gentleman took my Saturday night tour. He and his friends had stayed up there the night before. And after I said that, he says, "So you mean when you left last night, there was no one else in here?" Well, yep, that's what I mean. He said they saw me leave, but they did not realize I was locking up. They thought we were still hosting tours in here. Then after I left, they saw a young girl walk down the staircase. He didn't get his photograph. He honestly thought we were still holding tours in here.
Wow.
Number one, I am the last one out of here. Number two, we're unable to tour upstairs anymore. Those floors are over 138 years old.
Oh.
There's no load or weight bearing supports underneath it. It wouldn't be safe for us to go up there. Footsteps is something that we hear quite often in here. Now, my coworkers and I have heard them up on the catwalk. We've heard them here in the foyer area. One of the gunfight reenactors, he and his wife were walking the boardwalk one night. Stopped to take photos and videos right here through the glass window. Came to play that video for us the next day. We could hear the footsteps walking around. Our manager, Billy, is fourth generation. His family has owned the place since 1934. He'll be in here in the mornings before we get here. He gets a lot of activity when he's here in the mornings. That is the office door right there. You see how I locked the door? There ain't no one supposed to be coming in until he gets up to unlock it. Yet he hears footsteps in the casino floor. He hears footsteps out here. He's been on the phone before and has been told to shh. And he's also had his hair flicked. A couple months ago, he came in, he locked the door, and he walked this way. I'm going to walk right through here, folks. Just going to go right here. And he hears this noise. Now, that crap has been up there since we could open up last year. And that was the one and only time he's heard it. None of us have heard it. Now, Billy is rather a large man, so he's out here bouncing up and down on the floor trying to see if he can't get that noise to recreate itself. He couldn't do it. How y'all doing in here so far? Any questions? No? Well, I always make the joke about y'all being locked in here with me. It amuses me. Way too much. But I do it for two other reasons. One, it is an icebreaker, especially when I have large groups like this. Two, when I'm in the back and I'm second guessing myself about whether I've locked the door, well, I've said it out loud, so I know I locked the door. Now, there was one evening I did come down the stairs at 9 o'clock to turn the lights off, just like I do on all my 8 o'clock tours. There was a lady standing here in the middle of the floor. Now, y'all, she was as alive as all of you and I are, but I can really admit with all sincerity, y'all, she scared the living crap right out of me. And I am a country girl from Texas. The next words out of my mouth was not polite. Kiddos, hold your ears. Who the hell are you and how in the F did you get in here? She says, well, I pushed on the door and walked in. She and I argued. I won. I walked her right back out. Relocked that door, went back to the 22 people I had on my tour that night and asked for all of them if they had seen me lock the door. And they did. But I still called Billy the next day. Billy, here's what happened. Check the cameras. He sees me on camera lock the door, and he sees her walk in. What he didn't see was who unlocked it, when it came unlocked, or how it came unlocked. All right. As we walk through the building, different types of smells: cigarette smoke, cigar smoke, perfume smells. They wore a lot of rose floral type perfume back in the 1800s. A few months ago, 2 ladies took the self-guided tour right before the 6:15 tour started. They're the only ones in the building back there. Downstairs in the basement, they smell jasmine. I smelled cigarette smoke on the casino floor. I smelled it right here behind the bar. A couple of my guests on last night's tour were smelling cigarette smoke during the lights out. We did have a paranormal investigation going on in here last night. They were smelling cigarette smoke. And we do look for the logical explanations for things. The times I've smelled cigarette smoke, I've been the only one in the building, and there's been no one out there on the boardwalk smoking either. Questions in here? Yep. Y'all ready to go to the casino floor?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Is it?
Right around that corner. Let's get that door pushed. This one? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, keep walking.
Oh, keep walking. More people still in here.
Yes. Oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah. I got all over.
Now keep in mind the partition wall would have been here, so you can see all the way through back here to the stage. Obviously, the antiquities would not have been here. You would have had your bar room, stools, your tables, your chairs out here. All the gambling took place up underneath these wings right here. That's where all your gaming tables are set up. Above are the birdcage cribs I was talking about. These are the rooms the ladies worked in. Those cowboy soldiers and miners would go down the narrow hallways to get to these cribs up front. Remember, they could cross that catwalk to get from side to side. Here lately, this has been a very active part of the building over here in this corner. I've seen a lot of photographs come back to us with a lot of white and blue orbs in them. Just recently, 2 different guests, 2 different tours. As soon as they came through the door right there, we're seeing blue orbs right behind the gas lantern up there. No, that was with their own eyes. That was down through the camera lens. A week or so ago, a gentleman took my Saturday night tour, and if he's taken it once, he's taken it 20 times. So as I did the introduction, I just led him back here to take the photographs. That's what he's here for. When we joined him, he showed me 2 photographs. One taken across the dice table right here. There was a huge orb over there in the corner. The second one was taken across that table right there, and that's where y'all are standing. Great big old orb standing there. Now, right before we shut down for those 2 months last year, a lady took one of the tours, emailed back in a photograph, this first crib right up here, and in that opening, there appears to be a lady standing in it. Another photograph I've seen, the second crib, there's just not one orb in there, but there's 2. And y'all, when I zoom in on one of those orbs, I do see a person's face back there. So if you're seeing any orbs in your photographs, make sure you zoom in. Sometimes we will see faces behind them. Now, I'm going to give you a good rule of thumb about those orbs. If that light source is following along with your camera, your recording device, y'all, it isn't light refraction. Phones are notorious for it. If it's stationary, if it's zooming through at an angle, maybe a little tail behind it, that's going to be your orb. Now, y'all, if it's doing this crazy crap like this, it is a bug.
I was so excited for a
I
second.
know. See, if I can debunk it, I will. I do burst a lot of bubbles.
Well,
He's ready to go. He's ready to go home.
How y'all doing in here so far? Any questions?
what?
Another job these ladies could have, they were called serving girls. What those girls did, they carried very heavy baskets like you see on the corner of that table. Each one would be full of liquor bottles, and each drink that they sold, they would keep a percentage of. You know, some of these girls were as young as 12 to 14 years old. So keep in mind, they had a very different mindset back then. Yeah, I just sort of saw all the dads just go, all those hairs just stood up. Yeah, they had a very different mindset back then. A lot of them, that was half of their lifespan, and they had already been married by that time.
Middle age is like 30.
Handmade dice table right here, blackjack table right here. Pharaoh table back here, we'll talk about in a few minutes. We get a lot of photographs emailed back into us of people that have caught paranormal images in those photographs, and I've been able to print them out, and I used to be able to show them. And you'll notice I use the term used to. Well, they don't want me showing my photographs anymore because people touch them. Yeah, you saw the eyeballs roll. Anyway, I found the loophole around that, y'all, because I love finding loopholes around things. I've got some of the photographs right here. I'm going to show one of them for right now. The reflection in this dice table right here, and we do believe she was one of the serving girls here at the time. I'll pull her photograph up here, and when you get a chance, you can take a look at it. It's here in the corner. The other one, here. Thanks, Michelle. See, it's from my iPad. The other one that it's another reflection in the dice table, but I'm not going to tell you what I see in this one. Let's see what, if anything, that you see.
Can't even film my screen. It's telepathy. Increase now. They increased it.
No, it's for the,
That's so cool. Thank you very much for always doing that.
it's supposed to work out, but it doesn't.
Thank you for showing yourself to us. Over there.
No,
That one.
sprinklers are this pipe right here and the pipe right there.
Bell.
Anything?
Hmm?
Anything?
I get words on Perilous, but those two are going on.
Alright, so
And I didn't get anything personally.
Barrow table has been in the corner since the 1800s. It is a table that Doc Holliday sat at. He played, he dealt. Now I am told the man cheated. I wasn't here. I don't know if he's here. You know, this is a spot where that famous handkerchief duel between Doc Holliday and Johnny Ringo took place. Now both men were so drunk at the time when they drew their guns to shoot at each other, they missed. It's got more bullet holes to the floor. There's one there, and probably underneath your feet. Yep, there it is.
Oh, man.
Right there and right there. They're very close together. They were very, very drunk. From 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is when they had their little short and sweet vaudeville circus shows on the stage. Now, they didn't want anything long and drawn out. You had a bunch of drunk cowboy soldiers and miners in here. They brought in short and sweet acts, the can-can. They even brought in a magician. They would light up benches out there in the middle of the floor. Now, you will see a bench underneath that glass case over there against the wall. So, folks, if they liked you, they shot us. And if they didn't like you,
No way.
they shot at you.
No pressure.
That is the original hand-painted curtain. They didn't have the fabric dyes back then, so they hand-painted that curtain. Oh, y'all saw the movie Tombstone, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Not gonna burst anyone's bubble if I tell you it wasn't filmed here, right?
Nope.
Okay, because I burst a lot of bubbles. Trivia question, because I love trivia. Anyone remember what was on the curtain in the movie?
No, I wasn't really paying attention.
Harry.
No? It's okay, only a handful of people have answered it. Most of them were teenage boys.
What's on the curtain?
Fatima, the belly dancer. She was such a huge part of our history, they had nowhere else to incorporate her into the movie, so they did their magic and they put her on the curtain. Charlie was the stage manager at the time. Now, he has been seen going from one side of the stage to the other. One of my guests went in, he took a photograph up here in this corner, and in that photo, I do see the image of a person standing in there. And I know there was no one standing on the back side of that curtain. Another photograph taken in this direction into that plexiglass right there, and it appears to be a young girl reflecting in that glass. Now, from where she's reflecting,
30.
you would have had to been standing on the back side of the curtain. Piano behind me is another one that took a ride around the world, went to San Francisco, and was then wagon trained in. Now, Big Minnie was the owner's wife. She was also a bouncer here. He didn't want to mess with her because she could toss the man out of here. She was self-described as being 5'10", 250 pounds of pink lusciousness. Everybody evidently loved her too. She was a fabulous entertainer and a great piano player. Now, every now and again, we will hear her notice who played on this piano. No, it's not a full symphony. It's one little thing. Now, I've been here for just a little over 3 years. First time I had the pleasure of hearing that little thing was just almost 4 months ago. The second time I had the pleasure of hearing that was 2 weeks ago. So a lot of times we don't hear it with our own ears. We get a lot of paranormal investigations that go on in here after hours. And they don't hear it while they're here, but as they're going through their evidence on their EVPs, that's when they'll hear it. We do get a lot of EVPs in here. It was last Thursday that I had those 3 people on the tour. During the lighthouse session, I took the opportunity to do a little bit of EVP work. And so I was doing some recording back there. This was just with my cell phone. And there was 2 adult women and then a little girl on the tour. And I asked a question. I said, "Can you tell us your name?" Well, the little girl repeated it behind me, so I can hear her ask, "Can you tell us your name?" Well, right behind her question, I hear a male voice. There's only a girl in there. I can't make out what he's saying, but I do hear a male voice. Questions in here so far? I'm going to grab my phone. I don't wear a watch, so I have to keep us on track for time. Thank you. And we're doing pretty good. Okay, here's where we have too many of us in here for us to fit comfortable down in the basement. It's really small down here, and I've tried to take this amount of people down there, and it's just uncomfortable. Everybody doesn't get to see everything, and they're just elbowing people. So here's what I started doing. I started talking about what you'll see in the basement from right here. And I'm also going to tell you what you're going to see on the backstage. Well, when I'm done, we're all going to make our way up to the backstage. Half of you go downstairs into the basement, take a look around, take your photographs. The second half, you're stuck up on the backstage with me. Lucky y'all. And in the awkward silence, I have more photos and videos to show you. First group, don't feel left out because you'll get your awkward silence whenever you get back up. So. I just found it's easier, it's a lot more comfortable for everybody, and then everybody gets to see everything. So, alright, downstairs in that basement is where the West's longest poker game took place. That game lasted 8 years, 5 months and 3 days. 8 years. There was a 3-day waiting list, and it cost $1,000 to have a seat in that high stakes game. Well, that brought in all those high rollers: Diamond Jim Brady, Matt Masterson, Adolphus Bush of Bush Brewery, and George Randolph Hearst of the Hearst Fortune. They met several times a year here to play in the high stakes game. Now the house got 10% of the millions and millions of dollars that it's being spent during that time frame. Now those players would get a break when a player folded. You'll see a chair tilted forward down there, which represents the player that folded in this game. Now the length of time he had depended on the man who sat off in that chair by himself. They called him the tip boss. Now he would have to go up and down Allen Street. Y'all remember those 16 blocks with 106 forms? Yeah. Yeah, he's looking for the next table on this. You will see they had all the comforts down there. They had their own bar area set up, so they had all the drinks that they wanted. Now right across from that bar area is a sealed off green door. It's used as storage today. Back in the 1800s, it was a washroom. Gentlemen could be bathed by a lady for some extra silver. We do hear a lot of knocking coming.
I like this place.
The teenagers bring those comments out.
You know, I think 28 of us are coming back here. If 27 go out, it's going to be dark and no one will see it.
It's been a long weekend.
Let's do this.
So a lot of my guests stand in front of that door and they hear knocks. There are 3 knocks on it. I normally don't hear it because I'm too busy running my head. I'm very good at running my head, hence the reason I'm jumping. But that also means that I miss a lot of paranormal activity too when it comes to the noises. There's no doorknob where it should be. There's just a hole right there. People taking photographs through that. We have seen some images in there. Now the 2 rooms you'll see down there are fully furnished Cordella rooms. High-class ladies down there, $40 a night. Each one has a bed, armoire, wash basin, even some little chamber potty in there, so all the comforts. Now the very first one you'll see was occupied from 1881 to 1882 by a young lady by the name of Josie Sarah Marcus. And if y'all recognize that name, then y'all recognize her as the third wife of Wyatt Earp. Spoiler alert, Josie was not that actress that the movie portrayed her to be. She was that other kind of actress on there. Y'all know they were together for 47 years until he died in 1929. Y'all realize she didn't die till 1944?
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. So when you take a look in that first $4 room, take a look on the footboard on that bed, and you're going to see dust all the way across it, with the exception of there on the right-hand side. And it looks like someone is taking their hand and pushing that dust away. We don't have any explanation for that. Also, there's a little square mirror in there. People see reflections in that mirror all the time. So I have stood behind these people and doing this number, trying to debunk it. I can't. Look real closely in that mirror. The only reflections you can see are coming from the inside corner of that mirror. And there's 2 poles right there by the poker table. It's about this far apart. Look on the front side about table height and you see 2 hands back. These were just pointed out to me about 5-6 months ago. You'll remember I've been here for a little over 3 years. They're not fading away. They're not going anywhere. We don't have any explanation for them. If you look real closely, they appear to be very small, like maybe belonging to a child. The wine cellar is directly below us. Lady in white, as you can see, walking right down the walkway, and has gone into the wine cellar. Now, there are still some bottles and barrels in there from the 1800s. I am told some of them might still be full. Either really, really good or dust. We do not know. They will not let us try it. I have asked. I even told them it was for research. Back part of the stage, far right corner, you'll see one of Tombstone's most valuable antiques. She is known as the Black Mariah. The horse-drawn hearse from 1881 to 1917, trimmed in 24-karat gold and sterling silver. First one to use that curved glass technology, one of 8 made, and the only one we know of still in existence today. Ford Museum has valued her at $2 million. So if you have not met your millionaire, she awaits for you behind the curtain. Now, if any of y'all are millionaires, I could use some new best friends. One of these days. Other corner over here is a bathtub that was located downstairs. We do hear knocking and banging coming from that area as well. People taking photographs. I have seen the images of Halloween standing there. And on this side of the wall, there are many photographs of some of the entertainers that performed on this stage at one time or another. Lillian Russell, Lydia Crabtree, Enrico Caruso. Anyone have any questions on the information overload I just threw at you?
Oh.
All right.
Like a real life panic room.
What we'll do is we'll all go up the stairs. First half of you go to the right, down the stairs into the basement. Take a look around, take your photographs, then come back upstairs and let the other group go down. We'll find out, I guess. Yeah, you have to go up and then go down. Yeah, these stairs that are right here, take a look at them when you get down there. I can guarantee you.
Spirit. Put that EMF go off for me, please. I appreciate it very much. If not, that's okay.
That was fast. Now, see, this is the door. This was where we were standing at when we first came in. Came around that glass. The office door is over there. You can see it. Yeah, that was his reason.
He's up here.
You can, but I always just keep people right there. Right? All right. People right up there. I want you to watch it now.
What's up there?
It's almost empty downstairs. So watch it. Damn it.
It's gotta load.
It shouldn't because I'm not streaming. It should just go
There it
ahead.
goes.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So I see it moving.
Yeah.
Can you put EVP readers in here?
I'm sorry?
That's wild. No.
That's where we'll hold our light back. Downstairs. I'll make for a race.
Wow. What was that, Rich? Yep, I get that.
Alright, I'm gonna take a picture of the stairs. This is one.
Oh yeah, it's going.
Oh.
Mine's here.
Oh.
One person, one
Yeah.
That's a birdcage.
Yeah. Yes.
Hold on. Take a look in the past or do not enter here with this house.
Interesting.
Oh, come here, shorty. It's a room. A really big bed and everything. That's what the beds were made out of and stuff. Years and years ago.
Can you see through it?
This one doesn't have a bed though.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's the door that goes from there to there.
That is crazy. Yeah. Those things stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, your thing's going crazy right now.
Creepy guy.
Lost a little skin. Just a little. Yeah, bones.
That was my brother.
Yeah. You gotta take pictures, you know. That's. Just like that. The Hargan stove and the whiskey keg are both original and been in the same place since the Birdcage closed. Remember what she said? The original service bar and a liquor steward ran this bar.
Right by that door.
Players and the ladies and the customers.
Yeah.
The old doors and wine bottles are the broken glasses are all the original from the room during the yeah. There's a storage area. All the rickety stuff. They cut the stairs out. Just got moved.
Get out slowly.
What?
They should have made it. I took like 4 just to just.
The barrels right there. They don't even know if those barrels still have liquor. You know, dude.
I took a picture of in there, like I took like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no.
Did you?
The cereal's on. Whoa, wait a minute.
He was behind you, but he wasn't even facing you.
Exactly. That's.
And his hand was open.
I know.
Travis.
Yes.
He kept pinching the air.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh, they like you.
Right.
I was like, hey. All I was doing was leaning down talking to her.
Yeah, just your hand over it. Just like.
Is it cold?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cold in there.
Kind of colder, yeah. Just like slide your hand over it.
Ooh, that's very cool.
Could just be the air, but
Yeah.
still, it's just interesting.
There's still ladies running around in
So,
here.
yeah, how do you feel, Josh?
Violated.
Yeah. This area is always cool. Yeah.
Have you gotten any readings?
Did you hear that too?
There's a grenade. What? You see it?
Oh shit, that's my grenade.
Wow.
Huh. Go ahead. You're fine.
That's later. At the end of it.
That thing's still going up too, how much?
Microphone right up against the wall.
That's the way out of here.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just the gift shop.
Yeah, gift shop person.
That's basically what they did. So lock her up.
Sorry.
He was right, he was wrong.
Has anybody tried to on this? No.
Oh.
And no,
We're not gonna try it
She's
tonight.
like, no, and more no.
Yeah.
We'll give them a few more minutes down there, but in the meantime, if you guys have any questions about what you saw down here, anything up here?
Oh yeah, wait.
It's so bright. Check it. Infrared on.
We just didn't even walk the water down there for it. Well, that damage if you use some mileage on you. You know, we gotta clap you up.
Thanks. Yeah, they paid them really well back then.
Actually.
That's some get that car in the candy.
Yeah. Any more people down there?
That's the weight of the room.
Mm-hmm.
Stick it in there just to see if you can get something.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Getting anything?
Downstairs on his phone.
Of course he is. Alright, we'll give him just a few more minutes, and in the meantime, usually we hold our lights out session up here, but because I need the extra room, we're gonna hold it down on the casino floor. So we'll start making our way down the stairs back to the casino floor. We find some seats, y'all can hear me talk a little while longer, then we'll go lights out, and y'all can hear me talk in the dark.
Look at this. Yes.
Yeah. I've seen that on that one through the stairs as well.
Is that just a regular cell phone or you got infrared on that?
Oh, no, this is full on camera.
It's the ghost. I'm right next to this. I love it.
Yo, there's the fire bell when Ghost Hunters was here. And the cord got lifted off. So interesting and cool.
Yeah. She claims to have seen something run by when we were all up there. Sorry, from up here, I'm down here looking at it. Yeah.
Excuse me. You're fine.
Alright, so we've heard footsteps coming up and down the staircase right here. We've heard footsteps crossing the stage. People see shadow figures going in and out of the haircut and shave room over there. One guest sitting over here one night asked me about the mannequin up here in this room. Yeah, there is no mannequin up there. Yeah, there's mannequins over there, but there's not any on this room. Now, even though it's dark, the the dark will get darker, and that's where you'll see your shadows. The front room lights will still be on, so you'll see some ambient light coming in through that partition wall. In particular, over there in that corner, there's some light. Also up here in the hallways behind the cribs, people see those lights, and all of a sudden it's like they're watching one of those light sources, and it blocks out like someone's blocked between you and it. Or the dark will get darker. I'll tell you, one evening I had it split up. I had some of us up here and I had some of us down here. And when I do that, I sit right there at the top of the stairs. I had 3 people sitting on that far side near that case, in front of that case right there, and I saw someone stand up. And I told her, I said, ma'am, I'm going to need you to sit down, please. Well, I was told in no uncertain terms there was no one standing up. Anyhow, it was time for them to start flashing their photography down here. Someone flashed their camera. Where I saw that person standing and where she was sitting, they were about a foot apart. So that does happen. Which leads me to, if you do hear something, see something, say something. Now, I may see or hear it, but I normally try not to talk about what I see or hear during the tour. I don't want you to call the BS on me, number one. And also, I don't want you to walk out of here thinking, well, did I only hear or see that because she said something? Power of suggestion is very real. Now, if I know the sounds we are hearing are coming from outside, I'm going to tell you they're coming from outside. Remember, I am that bubble buster. If I can debunk it, I will. Thank you. You're welcome. Everyone familiar with how the K2 meters work? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, for those of you who are afraid to say no out loud,
No.
electromagnetic field detector.
Sorry, didn't know it was a question.
The theory behind them is the spirits are electromagnetic energy, and that's what these will detect. The green light tells us it's on. If we start seeing any other lights, we can assume that there is some type of energy around it. Now, in full disclosure, electricians will use these to detect live wires. You see right now, any of them in the room, I'm not having any interference with the electricity. Always keep the chairs further back. Your cell phone can set them off. But from back here, it doesn't. So, if we start getting any activity on these, we can assume that there is some type of energy around it. And we can ask yes or no questions trying to communicate. Now, y'all do feel free to ask those yes or no questions, but I will ask that you keep those questions polite and respectful, not only to your fellow tour members, but also to the spirits here as well. And y'all don't ask who you want us to leave. We get that yes answer, it's going to get very awkward in here. Also, keep in mind, people asking questions are really trying to hear an answer, so if you're rapid firing questions, if there's a lot of noises being made behind those questions, you may not hear an answer, because sometimes they don't always communicate by these devices. Sometimes it's quite noisy, just as light as that right there. All right, any questions before I go over my rules, my pesky rules for lights out? Yes, I have more pesky rules. No? All right, it's going to get very dark in here. Everyone will need to please stay in their seats and remain seated. Now, if you feel like you do not want to spend the next half hour in the dark with the crazy lady up here, I have a flashlight. I will be able to walk you out. Unfortunately, I will not be able to let you back in because I have to continue on with my tour. I don't want to hold anybody who is that uncomfortable in total darkness. Now, as I said, we normally hold these tours the nights out up there, and I have buckets underneath that table up there. Those are not the potty buckets. If for any reason anyone feels sick to their stomach, that extra energy in the room has been known to cause nauseousness. For people who are really sensitive to that paranormal energy, supper didn't set well, the elevation got to you, or I don't know, a couple extra drinks you ladies had before you got here. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. There's a reason behind that. So, whatever the reason, just say, hey, Karen, bark bucket. You will see how fast I'll make it up those stairs. Now that bucket is coming down even faster. You best be able to catch. Now, I promise you, I will not judge you unless you miss that bucket. If you miss the bucket, I will be judging you a tiny little bit, and I'm going to charge you extra and make you help me clean. Photography. The first 20 minutes, the lights out. Do feel free to take those photos. Do any voice or video recording, but please turn those flashes off and dim those lights. Otherwise, we're seeing flash, 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 and then we're all seeing orbs, or we're seeing your face light up in that camera, and quite frankly, y'all, that is pretty creepy. The last 8 minutes, and I'll let you know when. Feel free to flash away. Now, y'all, that is camera light flashing. No other flashing.
She's like, I don't ever have to say it out loud, but for this group we do.
Especially this corner. No other flashing going on. Now, and I saved this one for the very end, so it is fresh right here. Y'all be very careful about touching your neighbor if your neighbor does not know you're going to touch that. Because what usually happens is your neighbor jumps and says bad words, which will then cause me to jump and say bad words. And folks, when your host jumps and says bad words, we all do. Been there and done it. Questions? No? Don't go nowhere else.
I'm gonna go back to She's like, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna talk to grandma. Good night. Wait, that's not even the last one. There it goes. Bingo. It's like wandering around like every little life. Right here? I want to hear.
All right, everybody all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, anybody want to ask any questions?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
If there's anything here, can you please approach the table?
Okay, so you know by now the green lights around the room are not going to hurt you. No one in here wants to hurt you. We just like to talk to you. Can you let us know that you're here? You to touch any of these green lights or make a really loud noise for us. There are some devices that are going in here. If you try to talk really loud, maybe they can hear you. Can you tell us your name? Footsteps are out on the boardwalk.
Are you entertained by this group?
Anyone on the backstage tonight?
Anyone in a private room?
And by the way, you know when you miss people still hear you. When you were coming from outside. Anyone down in the basement still playing poker? Footsteps around on the boardwalk. We're not playing blackjack tonight. I don't know, it sounds like somebody either trying to be smart.
Is anyone getting ready to roar on a stage?
You're gonna take something stronger than water to get you through the night.
How's the dice table doing? Dice? Why do you play Pharaoh? I guess the Pharaoh table, you don't have to play. Any of the children in here with us tonight? It's okay if you come down and say hi to us. Thank you for letting us come in and visit with you. We'd love to hear your story. It'd be nice to hear about the handprints in the basement on those poles. Right?
Maybe an SLS.
Who's on stage tonight? Can you tell us who's performing? What is it that you're seeing on that camera?
They look like they're dancing.
When you say they, is it orbs? Is it?
They're like figures.
Do you have just a regular camera or one of those SLS cameras?
Yeah, just using my phone.
Okay. So you're on stage. Can you wave to them? Can you wave to us out here? Can you tell us who else is in here with us? So we have some performers in here. Who else is in here? I don't know, there's been times that I thought there's been an inactive night that people have either had personal experiences that they didn't want to talk about, or they caught a lot of evidence in the photograph. Any survey girls in here tonight? You want to get a haircut or a shave? Any soldiers in here tonight? Okay, if you come down the stairs and join us. So we can still walk down the stairs. Stairs left. Alright, so we have a little less than 10 minutes left, folks. If you want to start taking photographs, use your flash if you. Now, I will highly, highly recommend that you say flash beforehand, though, for those of us who want to close our eyes or turn our head. It's going to get bright in here. Yeah. You sure?
Flash. 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 Barry Allen.
Turn it to Raker.
Wally West. Oh crap, I can't remember the other one. Ah! Flash.
That's the dummy. Mannequin.
Flash.
Flash.
Thank you.
Flash. Thank you. There is. Tell him in my rules.
That's what we signed away before.
Yeah.
Don't lie. That's the part you signed.
Alright, so we have about 5 minutes left. If there's anything that you're trying to tell us, can you try a little harder to bang on something?
Really, y'all.
Alright.
Would you please be so kind as to make a noise for us?
The clock will tick on its own.
I'll have to see what it is like for a different color. You do that before we have to leave, try really hard. Thank you for letting us come in and visit with you. What are you seeing over there, Laura?
They like you today.
It is.
Is that the ovulus?
Yeah.
You can try using that device to tell us your name. Plants.
Well, hang on, that might be the first initial.
Plants. And I say that's crazy, but I own my own shop here in town. Calm down. Guys, okay. The noise in the basement.
Noise is real in the basement. I'm not sure after.
Okay, let's go back to those plants. And that's just, there should be no reason why plants should be in here. But I do own my own shop here in town, and I own a floral and a garden center with plants.
Oh, I know.
Here in town. What's that?
What is the machine saying?
It's an Ovilus, and it's supposed to be able to, they're supposed to be able to manipulate it if they can say some words, and we should be able to hear it.
What's the mission?
I'd like to hear your name. Name? Alright, folks, it is time for me to turn on the lights. Stay in your seats till I get the lights turned on, but do feel free to take any photographs and ask any more questions.
Let's still some names. Star. Well, everybody says there was some on stage. It's still gonna go on while we're in here.
Okay, so question. What did you guys see on the camera? What was the
It looks like you got two people dancing.
like silhouette? Like what?
Yeah, almost like actual people.
I saw real lights.
You saw the
Yeah, I
lights?
saw the lights on the
Okay.
Yeah.
I kept hearing noises up there. I was hearing noises. I was also seeing shadows back over here.
Yeah. Over here.
Wow.
I think
The
so.
red on the red on the
Okay.
stage. I could see the silhouette.
Alright.
The red light might not.
Alright, so a couple of little like personal experiences in here. Y'all with the videos over there, please send those in to us. For the rest of you, check those photographs really well. You see some of the photos that I showed you, they're really easy to miss unless you're really looking for them. So send them in to us. Billy is better at debunking than I am. Unfortunately, our time has come to an end. I really hope everybody had a good time. I know I sure did. Thank you all so much. Now, y'all don't worry about anyone or anything following you home. They have been here for a very long time, so we think that they are happy here. And besides, the only ones who do have to fear the most are the ones who forget to tip your host. Out the door, everyone will move out front. I'll unlock the door and let everyone out at one time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take a picture of the bowling ball. My parents.
Karen, may I ask a question? For paranormal investigating at this location, what would be the steps to be able to do so?
Let me give you Billy's card.
Billy's
Wait
card?
for me after I unlock the door to let everybody out.
Awesome. I definitely will. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. You're welcome.
People like you and me. I go cause hell. Oh, no, I said Abby. So sure, over with Abby.
Hey, get a look at them steps. Part of
Yeah.
the student right here.
Oh, shit.
Except the table.
Odds of these, yeah. Finding the person.
this across the stage. I was like,
I've seen something
So-
going on across stage on a few occasions.
yeah.
I thought there was something behind you, but you were moving and whatnot, so I confused it for like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I thought there was something in your.
Something tap on my shoulder.
Something that was black and something tapped on your shoulder? Wow.
I didn't see much of anything other than that.
No?
I saw a
But-
shadow.
Yeah, I saw a shadow up in the corner.
Yeah.
Like I turned my
I
camera
had-
completely off and I looked up and I was like just sitting there
Right
staring at
above
it.
you and Riley, I was
Yeah.
watching the
And I
shadow
could see
up
the
there for a
shadow
good period of
figure
time. I was like,
of a woman
hey, somebody's right
standing
there.
That's
I'm
awesome.
watching them.
I didn't see much though at all, really. The only thing that I was kind of interesting was when I put my hand over the hole and it was colder, but that could easily be something else.
Yeah, one, the basement, and two, not a lot of people go. No people go in that room.
Yeah, so the cold air probably just came out of the hole, and so when I.
Oh, in that one room with just the hole.
Yeah, when you put your hand over it, it was
washroom,
colder.
wanna look at
Hmm.
Yeah, I put my camera up against the hole in the light, and there was something off to the side.
Really?
I couldn't really see what it was.
I'll look at my
I was
photos for
watching another
fun,
guy take
but,
a picture and he had that same thing. Something was off on the side.
Yeah, something.
It's like a stupid
Yeah.
I don't know, I was kind of fascinated by the typewriters.
Here, I took a blurry picture on accident, and then I showed the lady.
I took
That's
a
kind of
picture
like
of
a
you guys,
face,
too.
and she saw
With
some
my
shoulders
flash.
in there.
Whoa.
That'd be fun.
It's blurry, so I'm like, meh.
That's not even gonna work. Hold on. You can kind of make it out. Would you point to the head real quick?
Right there.
It's the head right there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I took
Nice.
photos of
That's
flash
awesome.
without. You can see there's nothing there.
Leggings in infrared do not look good. It looks like they're wearing nothing.
Ew.
I was really hoping I'd see something with these typewriters.
That is not okay.
Hey, you want to see something funny?
Leggings in infrared makes you look like you're not wearing anything.
Yikes.
That's funny. So, this is the picture of the hole.
Yeah.
Right? There's two dots right there. I'll send them to you too.
Yeah. Two dots. Whoa, that looks like
It's eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it over your shoulder.
Well, because like I took a picture in the hole with or without flash, and then with flash, and you can
Okay.
see like the two dots
I see that.
That is
in
awesome.
both pictures.
Alright, so yeah, just give me a call.
And give Billy a call too.
Yes, ma'am.
But yeah, I have a my building. My shop was built in 1878.
1878.
I have the old Pete Spence house.
Oh
He's
wow.
one of the cowboy fractions.
Oh, that's so cool.
I do see that. Okay.
Ooh, heck yeah.
Wow.
Can I see?
Oh yeah.
You did.
That was basically all red,
Just a
and
little
then
bit.
you can see a little green flashing that
Oh,
going
interesting.
slower and then faster.
That's why I was staring at that corner. I was like, there's something up there.
The entire time, no malfunctions.
No what?
No malfunctions.
I had 3.
You had 3 malfunctions?
Yeah, it just stopped dead in the middle of the video, like 3-second video, as soon as I got downstairs, and I was like, no.
Damn.
Yeah, right? I was like, hey. Right there on the other side of the group.
So, overall, your experience, how did you like it?
It was good.
You liked it? Harley,
It was fun. I liked it.
Kelsey,
Entertaining to see the people.
Tigger,
And freaking tastic.
Olivia,
Good time.
Josh.
It was awesome. Another great night.
Yeah.
Scoreboard is broken.
How'd you like it? Yeah.
The flash, yeah. That was so funny. Olivia, was that you that was like, flash?
Yep, that was me. I was getting tired of having to close my eyes every second. It's like,
Cut my eyes closed.
But I love just seeing everybody like, oh my god, look, and, you know, sort of thing. That was so entertaining. Like, everybody saw something.